Well, it's been a rather rainy, windy day here in Rawalpindi as we head into match number 7 live from Pindi Cricket Stadium, where Islamabad United, the home side, take on Multan Sultans. Hello and welcome from pitch side. We're here in Rawalpindi. Well, it was raining earlier on. It has stopped now and there's going to be an inspection at 7:40 p.m. So we'll find out what's happening after that. But it's been a rather breezy day here in Pindi. Very much evident from all the hair that's been flying around on our heads. So I've got with me in our studio the usual suspects. The usual suspect, as I like to call them, Amir, Suhail and Dominic Cook. Lovely to have you here on pitch side, gentlemen. Amir, firstly, you know, it's great that we're actually starting on time, and the fact that we're having a game, because just a couple of hours ago it seemed like, you know, there was a hailstorm here in Pindi. So there has been obviously there's been a delay because of the wet outfield, but let's just hope that we at least get a game in.
Yeah, we are keeping our fingers crossed, and you have to trust the ground staff here. Yes, they had a bad experience during the Champions Trophy, but they learned a lot, and they are well equipped now. We have few super stoppers and everything, so I hope the game is going to start with a slight delay maybe.
Koki, very British weather here today in Pindi.
Certainly is, very much where I'm from, Derby. It rains all the time. The good news about this outfield, though, it's actually, I think it's one of the best in Pakistan for obviously getting rid of the rain. We've just come from a hotel and you could see the puddles. So to be fair, it actually doesn't. I thought I was expecting when I got here it was worse, and I think it is just parts of the outfield that probably haven't been covered that are a little bit wet. It'll be interesting to see when the inspection happens at 7:40 what they actually decide to do, because I'm sure we'll have some extra time at the end of the game where it should be. So hopefully it won't be too much of a shortened game, because I think both sides going into this will want to have a longer game, because as you know, Amir, the shorter game sometimes brings in probably the unfancied team, but these two teams, actually, I look at them, they're actually quite strong and quite even Stevens.
Yeah, if you talk about Peshawar Zalmi, they wouldn't mind a shorter game because they've been struggling.
Yeah.
Well, the groundsmen definitely deserve a lot of credit, because we can just look over our shoulder and you'll find out that it does look pretty dry, and more often not, they're the unsung heroes of the game. And you know, you've worked a lot in Sri Lanka as well. You've seen how efficient they are in covering the grounds and taking the covers off. So a lot of credit to them.
And they smell rain. I mean, nobody's actually thinking of that it's going to rain, but they just smell it and they are ready for everything. And they are very well equipped. And I think Pakistani, personnel is not way behind. You know, they're very efficient. Yeah, there were a couple of setbacks, but they have raised their game for sure.
All right, I think it's time to get back to the cricket though, because we've got the home side, Islamabad United, and they are up against Multan Sultans, who lost their last encounter versus Karachi Kings. Let's have a look at their head-to-head. All right, speaking of head-to-head, it's even Stevens once again. And it's not just the last 16 matches, it's also the last 10 matches that these two teams have played. Islamabad has overall won 8 alongside Multan. And then the last 10 matches have also been pretty much equal. 5 and 5. 5 won by Islamabad United and 5 won by Multan Sultans. Although, I mean, when you look at this record, there's plenty to talk about, because the in-form team is actually Islamabad United. That was head-to-head for you. Yeah, things seem to be working well for Islamabad United, Amir, because remember, they are the defending champions. They came into this tournament with some kind of a pressure, the tag of being defending champions. But what do you think is clicking for them so far in this tournament?
I think it's the combination of this side and the balance of the side. And it seems like that everybody in the squad really know their role. And whenever they come out and they are assured, they know what is supposed to be done and they do it so efficiently. And that's why you know, they're making a huge difference in this HBL PSL.
And something that's also working really well for them, Koki, is their top order. Somebody like Sahibzada Farhan, we saw what he did the other day, scored heaps of runs in domestic cricket and now is carrying on that form into HBL PSL.
Yeah, and I think he is playing well. It's something I pick up with Amir as well as an opening batter. The way he plays from deep in the crease, something that you did very well at times as well. I think it makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does, because, you know, when you talk about the openers, you have to play the ball late, and you need to get the measure of it. You know, when I saw Farhan for the first time, he was hit and miss. He's come of age. Now he doesn't mind spending a bit of time at the crease, get the measure, try and understand what the bowlers are looking to do, and after that, once he decides for that, he's deadly.
I mean, when we spoke to him earlier in the previous game, he did mention that, Koki, that I said, what are you doing differently? And he said that he's just trying to take a few balls, maybe like a couple of deliveries, just to have a gauge of the conditions and all of that. And that indicates, you know, it's indicative of his maturity, perhaps, as a batter.
I think if you look at all at the opening batters now, I'll take you back. I know he's not playing tonight. Look at Fakhar Zaman. Give yourself a little bit of time just to settle yourself in. I think as a bowler, when somebody plays it as late as him, Farhan, it actually puts you under pressure because he's using what pace you've got, but also he's going deep in the crease. So those length deliveries that he's letting bounce, he can then open up areas. And I think as a bowler, that makes it more difficult. So he's playing really well. Some of the shots he played that we just highlighted, obviously the boundaries as well. He just seems to hit 360, and then that's what makes it difficult for a bowler.
I just want to add what Dominic said. You know, as an opener, at times you wait for a bowler to commit a mistake. And in T20 format, if a bowler is able to bowl a couple of dot deliveries, pressure is not on the batsman. It's actually on the bowler. How I'm going to go about the job now. So that gives an opportunity for a batsman to assert himself, and that's what the batsmen have to learn.
Well, Multan Sultans, on the other hand, they lost their previous game against Karachi Kings, but their captain had a good outing overall, got some runs, and generally seemed to be, you know, he seems to be a leader who's inspired a lot from all the youngsters in Multan Sultans. Rizwan, once again, making that fine 100 at the top. It did go to Wayne, but just his contributions as a leader have been quite evident. Let's not forget the contribution of Bracewell. He's somebody who's done well. He's quite a handy cricketer, you know, with the ball, with the bat, adding that 44 of 17 balls. But I think, Koki, would you say it was the bowling that let them down in that game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that. Credit to Rizwan, credit to Bracewell. When you get 234, you'd be disappointed as a bowling unit that you've actually lost that. And when you look at partnerships are, you know, impressive there. But then look at how, in the history of HBL PSL, where that run chase fits. Because then you have to give it to Vince and think, well, okay, when you look at its third in the obviously 10 seasons, you can see that that doesn't happen very often. So in some ways you'd be disappointed as a bowler to be able not to defend that, but then you have to think realistically. A batter like James Vince, Cushdale, whoever it is comes in, you've got to just put your hands up at times as a bowler and say, it was their day. And sometimes you can beat yourself up too much as a bowler and think, well, I should have won that, it should have been down to us. But you have to give credit sometimes to quality batters and say, it was Vince's day that day. So not worry about it too much. Try and analyse where you perhaps could have done it a little bit slightly different.
And even Mohammad Rizwan as a captain of Multan Sultans, Amir, I mean, he inspires from the front. You know, he's a leader who lets his bat do the talking. We've seen him do that time and again, and he did that the other night as well, scoring that 100.
You know, he understands the psyche of the players. You know, once a player go through rigmarole of club cricket, first-class cricket, and you know, he learns the craft, and he knows how to get the best out of the players who are actually, you know, on the fence. He knows how to get the best out of them, and he's right. Dominic is absolutely right. You know, he shouldn't be worried about the last game. You know, he has to ask his players, shrug your shoulders. It happens. It was his day. We caught into the whirlwind of James Vince. It's not going to happen every game.
And when you look at that as well, you think we've just shown obviously Farhan and how he played the ball late, and then you look at Rizwan. and he's scoring at 350, you know, around that good length, maybe slot area. It shows how different you have to bowl at certain characters and certain batters. You look at Riz when he comes at you, he's being aggressive, he's looking at you with straight eyes, and he's coming, if you bowl length, I'm going to hit you off your length, I'm going to go square. If you go too full, I'm going to go back over your head. And Farhan is staying deeper and cutting you away and pulling you that way. So it just shows as a bowler you have to be on top of your game. But Rizwan, that innings, really, let's be honest, on most days, that's a match-winning innings. And all it was, well, the reason why it wasn't was because James Vince was slightly better, and that's why it was taken away. But when Rizwan is in that sort of form, domestically, in his franchise, for Pakistan, he can win games single-handedly.
And for me, the special thing about that particular innings from Rizwan was everybody was talking about it's going to be a different Karachi pitch. It's going to offer a lot to the bowlers. And then you go out as a batsman and you start to take on the bowlers from the word go. That made it special.
All right. We're talking about Mohammad Rizwan, but the Multan Sultans squad is looking really good, despite the fact that they conceded so many runs. The likes of Osama Mir, they've got Akif Javed, who's done really well in the T20 circuit. So the talent is right up there, and they've also got a lot of experience in the form of Chris Jordan. Time to hear his thoughts now.
We were in Dubai. I was playing for Zalmi, and we obviously made the final and said, right, we'll try to play the final in Pakistan. And having never been here before, you never know what to expect. But I think from the time I landed in the country and to see how beautiful the country it is, and then on top of that, the support for the game was amazing. The fans here, they go crazy for the game, you know, and as I said before, you feel that energy, and you actually, deep down in yourself, you want to do well for them as well. I've been fortunate to play with so many great players. I played with Shahid Afridi, I played with Baba, I played with, so many great players, you know. Every season you see so many different types of players come out, and it's great for the game and great for the country. Peshawar is one place I want to visit. I've heard so many great things about it. Obviously I've visited Islamabad but not been able to explore the city. I do like rice dishes, so it could be some kind of pilau or a dal makhni or something like that, yeah. Does TK count? TK, I don't know. TK, chalo, shukriya, yeah, all these things, yeah. We have a good identity as a team, and I think the way we play cricket is very entertaining. We have a good all-round team as well. When fans turn on the TV and they see Multan Sultans playing, they know they'll have an exciting game to watch.
Now, we called Riley Russo an HBL PSL veteran the other day. Chris Jordan is also somebody who's an HBL PSL veteran, Koki. Played for 3 franchises in the HBL PSL. Just seems to love it here.
Well, he's obviously a multifaceted player. He can do everything. He's one of the best fielders in the world. Bowls well up front, bowls well at the end. He's a good team member. I think what I like about Chris Jordan is he sells himself into teams wherever he is. Obviously in the PSL, this is his 3rd franchise. And the one thing I picked up from that interview about the Multan Sultans, the word I picked up was identity. And that's something that I think all franchise owners, all franchise teams want to have their own identity. With Chris Jordan, I think he's an excellent player. He's a nice human being. He wants to be part of the side, and he'll sell himself to any side to be a part of it and win. And that's what he is. He's a multi-winner.
And he loves palau.
He does. You know, you were surprised.
It was nice to hear something different other than biryani. You know, that's what
Exactly.
I mean.
I would have
keep
gone
hearing
biryani, definitely. And I need him to get a little bit better with his Urdu as well. What he got, tikka, shukriya and something else. Come on, you've got to be better than that, Chris. Ek, do, teen, char, panch. Come on.
Well
you
done.
keep going, Che.
He needs to spend a lot of time with you, Koki.
Absolutely. I'll help him.
Yeah. There's also that Barish song that you keep singing
Yeah,
when...
Dehiko Barish. No Barish now.
No
Barish,
Barish
no, it's
right
gone.
now.
The rain is gone. Thankfully, the rain is gone. The wind is up, which will dry the outfield. And what are we? We can't be far off from that picture inspection. It's probably happening now. Sorry to look to my right because I'm going that way, but it should be happening right now. And hopefully, let's hope that the umpires make a decision quickly, Zainab and Amir, and we get near enough a full 20 over or 20 game, because I want to see that. I don't want to see a shortened game. Never like shortened games.
Absolutely, and you don't want one team to be having any kind of advantage. But just talking about Chris Jordan, Mohammad Rizwan and their leadership, both these sides are looking really good overall. But I think it's time to hear from the experts what they have to say with regards to the expert predictions. Well, we're still waiting on a lot of updates from the ground. Perhaps it is too early to make a prediction, but just based on, Amir, what you've seen from both the sides, I mean, which side is looking stronger to you? Who do you think is going to be at the forefront of things today?
I think both the sides have wherewithal to trance each other, but I'm going to go with Multan. The reason why I say that, because they were hurt in the previous game, and they'll come in this game better prepared, knowing the opposition.
All right, they were hurt, so they're going to come out like cornered tigers. What about you, Koki?
Well, I've been hopeless at this. I think I backed the Kalandars when they lost their first game, and that didn't work. Since I've stopped predicting that, they've gone and won in Karachi. So I'm going to go with, sorry, Islamabad, I'm not very good. I'm going to go Islamabad United. That's how I'm going to go, because I think they are one of the best squads around, but they're up against a fine Multan Sultans. So I'm going to go, come on, Islamabad United. Give me my first victory tonight.
All right, then, you heard it from our experts. Multan Sultans and Islamabad United is what we're going for in the studio on pitch side. That was the expert predictions for you. All right, we'll take a short break and we'll keep you guys posted in terms of what's happening out there with regards to when we can actually start the play. The good news is it's not raining right now, so we can hopefully get a full game rather than the shortened game, and we'll have to wait for an update from the umpires before that. So take a short breather and we'll see you guys on the other side. Back on pitch side, and we're just waiting for an update from the umpires to see what they have to say with regards to when we can really start. The good news is that it's not raining right now, and it has sort of dried up. When you just look over our shoulders as well, we saw that the ground is rather dry. So that's the good news coming from the center, but there's been no official word yet from the umpires. So just waiting on that. They're just having a look, inspecting the ground, obviously wanting to make sure that there are no puddles, there's no water that hasn't been drained out of the ground. But it all looks rather hopeful from this side, and I'm sure the fans of Islamabad United will be wanting the game to start as well. The Super Stopper is going to be in action, obviously, trying to soak in all the wetness from the ground. But I'm sure we'll get an update very soon from the umpires with regards to what's happening, what time can we actually start this game. All right, back on pitch side, we're discussing Multan Sultans taking on Islamabad United, and one of the strengths of Multan Sultans over the years has been their leg spinner in the form of Osama Mir. Amir, when you talk about him, you know, he's got the most amount of wickets since 2023 in the HBL PSL. So you keep talking about how important a role a leg spinner plays in this league, and we've seen him do so well for them over the years.
You know, to have a leg spinner in your lineup, it's a luxury. You know, we all know that leg spinners pick up wickets for you. They can change the course of the game. And Osama Mir has been doing it for his side. You know, initially, you know, he was taken for plenty of runs just because somebody told him that he needs to flight the ball without realizing he's a tall lad. For a tall lad, it's very difficult to flight the ball. It's going to turn out to be a full toss. So finally he learned, instead of flighting the ball, I have to ball it slower with the pacey deliveries. And from there on, he's been picking up wickets and he never looked back.
I get to see him quite a little bit because he also plays in England, plays a little bit of T20 in the 100 competition. So I see him quite a lot. And then you spot on. he's such a tall man, he gets bounce. I think that's what he gets, is he gets bounce, so he doesn't need to flight the ball. So whoever tells him to flight the ball, stop, he doesn't need to, because of the height that he gets. He's an important cog in their wheel. That's what has made them such a good side, because he has got that ability to spin the ball both ways and also get bounce. So he's an important part, not just tonight, but for going into deeper into the competition. If Multan Sultans are going to reach those playoffs and maybe a final again, he's got to keep bowling well, because if he does, then he's going to bamboozle those middle orders throughout this HBL PSL.
All right, so we spoke about how there's been rain around the whole day practically. There was a hailstorm before. This Pindi wicket, we've seen different facets of the Pindi wicket. On the slower side, great for batting as well. But how is it going to turn out today with all the weather conditions that we've seen so far? Let's find out from Mark Nicholas, who's out there with the pitch report.
I'm actually not on the pitch. I'm looking at amazement at the super sopper that's been out here drying this outfield. This place is so dry. We had a powerful storm, massive hailstones, bigger than the size of golf balls. So they've used the super sopper, they've used sand, they've used this dry, dead grass to cover areas that have been damp. They've cleared all of these massive Hessian covers. I mean, really, they've done an absolutely fantastic job. So much so that now I think it's dry enough to get going. I don't think it'll be a big deal on the ball. And all credit to the ground staff here. This is a quality performance. Lisa is out in the middle. Tell us about the pitch.
Yeah, taking a look at the pitch here, it's dry as a bone. And the great thing about this pitch is we've only had one game here, and that was against Lahore Qalandars. They scored 219 runs. There is a little bit of live grass, which is sometimes hard to find here in Pakistan, but certainly it is going to be batting conditions as usual.
So one of the coaches, Alex Hartley, just said to me, one of the Sultan coaches, so what should we do, bat or bowl first? The answer is, I don't know the answer. I think you've just got to play well to win the game, haven't you?
Yeah, I think everyone's not quite sure about the weather, so I wouldn't be surprised if people want to chase, knowing that there could be Duckworth, Lewis, Stern method potentially coming in.
You've heard it from Lisa.
So with the potential rain coming on the other side, Koki, I mean, what do you do if you win the toss then?
Well, if there is going to be any rain coming later, which I know in forecast it's saying there may do, then you'd probably look to chase. That's what I would look to do. Then you know exactly what you're chasing. If it's a shortened game, you take that into the obviously decision. But I think chasing would probably be better here, because there has been a little bit of rain, so it will skid on a little bit. I always think that, of course, you look at the stats of all the games we've seen over the years here, and I just think you overthink it too much. Whoever plays better on that occasion wins the game. Put runs on the board, defend, that's a way, chase. So let's see what they do.
Yeah, just to further that, you know, you don't have to overthink things. If there is rain around, look to chase. But you know, if I was a captain, you know, having a look at the conditions, overhead conditions, I'll be inclined to include a fast bowler or two, because there is a breeze around. The ball is going to do something in the air.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts, gentlemen. There has been an update now. The toss is going to be at 8:15, and we will be going live with all the action at 8:45. So that's the good news coming from the center. Take a short break, and we'll give you further updates on the other side.